This past year, we took a trip to Israel. This was a joint church trip, and we got to see some of the amazing places where Jesus and the disciples and many other Bible characters lived their lives and did their ministry. And that's part of a 3-year plan that I have to try to take groups to see all of the various Bible lands. And so if you go to all 3 of the trips, you'll essentially have seen 95% of the Bible lands, outside of, Iran and Iraq and a couple other kind of out of the way places like that. But you'll see the vast majority of the Bible lands. The trip for me was very moving. I'd spent time in the region. That was my first time to Israel. It was somehow it was more interesting than I expected it to be. I expected it to be pretty interesting, and it was, but it was even more interesting to see the modern side, the historic side, just to be rooted in the past, to get to see some of the places and places that we've read about our whole lives in the Bible, even maybe seen pictures of, but to see live all of a sudden certainly broaden my perspective. I want you to pray about potentially coming with me if you're interested. June 26th through July 8th. Our next study tour is going to Turkey and Greece. So this is kind of a footsteps of Paul. We're not going to get to go everywhere that Paul went, but we'll get to see a lot of really interesting things from the ancient world, from Corinth, from Athens, Ephesus, Istanbul, just the various places that we're going to be going through in Turkey and Greece. Now, some people might think of this as a vacation. I promise you, please don't think of this as a vacation. You're going to come back full, but also wiped out. It's a lot of walking. It's a lot of listening. There's a lot of devotional times, study times together. There's pre-trip meetings that we do as a team. There's things that I have us read through and study through, and so it's a chance to really deepen our walk with Christ. So I'd say it's not a pilgrimage in the classic sense, but it's not a mission trip. It's not a vacation. Pilgrimage, I guess, is the only really other category that this kind of trip fits into. And so that's certainly a way to think about it. A lot of trips to Turkey and Greece, it's just go see all of the touristy kind of places, and it's a tour of the Greek Isles. We're not doing that, but we get time in Ephesus to get to see some of the amazing things that were there, a lot of deep, rich history in the New Testament. And so if you were interested, send me an email. I'll send you the info packet where you can register. Another way to do that is you can come into the church or the office sometime and just pick up a paper copy if you would prefer to do it that way. Something just to keep in the back of your mind. I know that if you've been watching the news, this is a strange week to talk about. But I actually have a trip in 2026, booked back to Israel. And so if you are interested in the Israel trip, we're not going to go if everything's happening the way it's happening now, but Lord willing, in 2 years' time, maybe things will have settled down. And so if you're interested in that as well, we can talk about that one, but we're not really opening registration just quite yet. We're just going to wait and see how things go. But if you just want to kind of write that down in the back of your mind, that one is lingering out there as well. So pray about coming. It's a big commitment in terms of time, money, energy. But I know for the group that went to Israel, we all found it very, very rewarding. And I believe that you will find that rewarding in this trip as well.